the financial end of a funeral before taking care of it?
No.
Okay. The average funeral costs about $14,000. Funerals aren't paid for the way they used to. In the past, you would take your insurance policy of, let's say, $50,000. You would hand it to the funeral director, and he would hold on to that until the insurance check came in. It doesn't work like that anymore. The way that funerals work now is they have up to 60 days to pay out the benefits. Do you know why that is?
Interest?
Yes, interest. The millions and millions of dollars they make off of interest from those insurance policies. There are two companies out there that are, one is in Canada, which is the Elderwood Group, and there's one in Texas called SCI. What they're doing is buying up all the cemeteries and funeral homes in the United States and Canada. They want to become, well, the Walmart of the funeral industry. The reason I bring this up is because their corporate policy is that they want 50% of the funeral up front. Well, I don't know about you, but most families I sit and talk with don't have $7,000 laying around. And if they did, they're not going to use that money for a funeral. I mean, there's going to be bills and everything coming in after the funeral. That's why we've come up with this, the freedom of choice. What this is, so let's say, God forbid, something happened to Matt. It could be cancer, disease, anywhere in between. It doesn't matter. It could be tomorrow. It could be 50 years from now. It doesn't matter. This is a freedom of choice. What this covers is, Matt, if you were to pass away, it's a $20,000 benefit. How it works is, let's say Matt passed away, you would go to the funeral home, Nicole, and hand them this. What this is if you flip it over on the back, you're going to write in here $15,000. Now the policy that you chose was $20,000. So the balance of the check would go to you, Nicole, and the kids after the fact. When you hand this to the funeral director and you leave, he's going to call this number right here. When he calls this number, he's going to ask two questions. First question is going to be, are you covered? Well, after I leave here tonight, you will be covered. The second question is going to be, how much is that for? Well, if I told him $20,000, how much is it magically going to cost? $20,000. Right. Well, we don't let it happen like that. We won't allow it to work like that. What we do is when they call us, we tell them $15,000, and we ask that you do the same. Don't disclose how much it's worth. So you'll sit down with them, write the $15,000 here. You're going to put your funerals, and you said that you wanted traditional gravesite. So we'll write on the flowers all that here, and then you're going to sign as the beneficiary and hand that over to him. No out-of-pocket cost. Everything is paid for. It's the simplest, cleanest way to take care of what's going to happen to all of us. Does that make sense to you how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, this kind of works like a prearranged funeral. Have you heard of prearranged funerals?
I don't think so.
Okay, with a prearranged funeral, everything's taken care of prior to death. The thing with prearranged funerals is you only get out of it what you've paid into it, and it can be expensive. It could be up to $100 a month. It works like that, but it's already paid for. This is a blank check for $20,000. So there's no out-of-pocket cost. It's the cleanest, easiest way to take care of what's going to happen to all of us. Why is that important to you, Matt?
So I know they're not going broke after I die.
Exactly. Peace of mind. Matt, Nicole, what we're looking at now is what we're calling your living benefits. I'm going to get you guys killed for right now, and we're just going to get you hurt. So let's say Samantha's in the backyard, frolicking around. She falls, sprains her ankle. Where are you going?
Emergency room.
The emergency room. And you're going to have to take time off of work, probably 4 or 5 hours out of work. Right, but you got to be there for it. And what's your copay?
That's about $100.
Okay, $100. If you're like me, $100 is $100. What this benefit does is it pays you up to $200 every time you go to the emergency or to the hospital. So let's say that for anything like, well, you stepped on a nail, you need a tetanus shot, bad reaction to a bee sting, cut that needs stitches. Okay, so you go in, And we will pay you up to $200 per occurrence. So if you went in 3 times in a year, that's up to $600 in your pocket, which is pretty cool. The next part is critical. Now, Matt, let's say that you ran down to the store to grab a gallon of milk, and some idiot runs the stop sign and hits you. You're in the hospital for 10 days. What are some of the bad things that are going to happen in those 10 days? Matt, you're going to be out of work. Nicole, you're going to be out of work because you're going to be at his bedside, and the bills are going to start piling up. What this benefit does is pays you up to $400 per occurrence. It pays you $400 a day. So Matt, let's just say you were in the hospital for 10 days. You're going to get a check for $4,000. It's not going to go to the doctors. It's not going to go to the hospital. It's going to go to you and come to your house in your name. And you can do whatever you want with that $4,000. Does that make sense how that works? Okay, great. Let's just say, man, something weird happens and you're in the hospital for 10 days and then something else happens and you go back into the hospital. It starts all over. So this is every time you go in, it's for 365 days, up to 1 year. So you go in for 10 days, it starts all over again. The next month when you go in, 365 days starts all over again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for that $30, we've got your funeral paid for, we've got your living benefits paid for, your accident, you've got your child rider, all for the price of pizza and wings a week. Does that make sense to you how that works?
It does.
Okay, now Matt, let's say it's worse. You got hurt, severely hurt in the accident and you're in the ICU. What's gonna happen is we're gonna pay you up to $800 a day for 14 days. The reason it's 14 days is because after 14 days, you're probably gonna be using the funeral benefit. It's just, but you don't lose it completely. After the 14 days, it'll go back down to the 400 days. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. This is also strike and layoff proof. So if you were to go on strike, we will pay your premiums for up to 1 year. If you were laid off, we'll pay it up to 3 months. So no other company is going to do that for you. Try calling your insurance company and say, hey, I'm on strike right now. Can you waive my premiums? They're going to say, take your car off the road. So your last option is going to be Plan A or Plan B. Plan A is everything that I discussed with you today, all the benefits, for the price of $30 a week. Plan B is I can semi-inflation proof your funeral, and it would be $10,000 for $20 a week. So, Matt, Nicole, most families pick the Plan A. It's a great choice. Or there's Plan B. I just need to know which one is it going to be. Is it going to be Plan A or Plan B?
I guess we're gonna go with Plan A.
Great. That's a great choice. All I'll need you to do is get your driver's license for me, your checking account information, your routing and account number, and your doctor's information.